Okay, language. Okay. Oh dear. Just wait for the notification to go up, and then we shall begin. Right, I think notification is up, so we shall... Hold on a minute. And there might be a few problems with the lobby, and of course how convenient it is absolutely pouring with rain. So our drivers have dodged a bullet there. We'll need to check the lobby settings and then we can go again. So slight apologies for that, but we'll hopefully get it sorted as soon as possible. Suppose as good a time as any to, I guess, take us through a quick lap of the track this evening, which is in Mexico. That's it. Get a quick lap in while we wait for the lobby to get itself sorted out, and suppose good a time as any to actually get on with the intro to the stream. So, hello everyone and welcome to the FPRL Formula 2 Season 2 Championship. Round 5 tonight. We are going around Mexico, as I'm looking at Twitch chat there and I'm not paying attention. Life advice, do not look at your phone while you're driving. And I am once again joined by none other than the lovely voice of Silverside Boy.
Hello.
First, make sure you've included your audio, and that will be good.
Oh, are we restarting the lobby?
Yes, I think we are restarting the lobby, just because of a few settings that might not have been up to standard.
Oh look, we get to watch this go on that around Mexico.
Yeah. It's a quick tour of Mexico, and funnily enough, it was actually raining for the qualifying session before we had to leave.
It was qualified. It was wet, all quali and wet all the sprint race.
Oh, we've been absolutely scammed there, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely scammed. But
now I get to stay here and watch you drive badly.
Well, this is a reason why I commentate and why I don't drive. And I should mention as well, this is the return of this Formula 2 Championship. We did have a 1 week break for quite a slight interval in our campaign and season. Going around the stadium here, the final sector of this Mexico track, and a very, very poor lap, but a slight track guide, if you will, as to what our drivers will have to go through this evening. Now just wait for the lobby to get itself sorted. And have a look in the Twitch chat for this evening, saying, we've got Charlie Ashmore saying, thank God we had left, it was raining. I would say the exact opposite there. Shadows redeeming a drink and Colcom's drink, Channel Point Redemption with good evening lads. Good evening to you as well, Shadows. And believe that is Soprano Legend saying, hey gents, good evening to you as well, Mr. Soprano.
No, you've got to use his real nickname, it's Pro Comms.
Well, right, fine. Pro Comms, yes.
Well, he's a professional commentator.
I suppose he has a lead above us. Tornado saying that he is in the mud tonight. Hopefully not the case.
Do not believe what that man says.
Yeah, well I suppose after the last adventure we had in Spa, he's a little bit under pressure this evening after what happened in the feature race.
Naughty, got a late penalty from the stewards.
Just need to see if the lobby has been sorted out.
They'll also forge you out and tell everyone where you are on the leaderboard.
Yes, I've frauded that. I mean, it's a 127.4, so... Right, I think lobby has been sorted out. So...
Well, I can tell you, you are 4 seconds lap slower than Rookie Min.
I take that as a bit of a compliment, to be honest, because Brookiemen are reigning champion. They showed on their return last time out in Spa. They haven't lost their touch. But as we were saying, this has been a 1 week break between round 4 in Spa and round 5 here in Mexico, and we had a bit of our own little summer break. Just between the Belgian Grand Prix in real world and today's Dutch Grand Prix, in which Max Verstappen absolutely dominated once again, absolutely unbiased analysis, and put Mercedes to the sword, and Ferrari remembered they were Ferrari.
And don't forget about AlphaTauri doing some shady stuff.
I shall not gloss on AlphaTauri doing that. And Soprano going against my biased views there, saying wouldn't say dominated.
I wouldn't say he did dominate, because I would say the Mercedes were all over, well, were fairly close to Max. I know Max did say afterwards that he was a little bit worried about the Mercedes in the end of the day. Because he was like, oh, I wasn't expecting the Mercedes to be so fast around here. I think Max kind of forgot that this year's car, the Mercedes, is more set up for the tricky, twisty, turny tracks. Like, they've got more downforce, and the Red Bulls are quite quick this year. They've gone for a more slippery setup.
And further saying another good performance, I would say, as an unbiased commentator. Every commentator's got a bit of bias around them, but I'll take your word for it. But suppose going on to Monza in the following week of the Real World Championship, dare I say Mercedes could actually pull a surprise, or is Red Bull just that too damn quick?
I think it's going to be another dominate. Well, I think Max is going to win Monza, because again, streets, high-speed tracks going to suit the Red Bull, which we never used to say, because Red Bull used to be a high downforce car, but ever since they've introduced their low-speed or high-speed setup, they are now starting to dominate Formula 1 again. I've been seeing...
As our countdown... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just going to say that a countdown is underway, and I think we're sticking with the same weather pattern from what we had before. As I'll do that just to be on the safe side.
Well,
in case someone says something down a microphone.
I don't think we're going to see a lot of spins in this wet condition, due to the fact that most drivers are going to be running full traction. So technically it's harder to spin on full, but we'll see what everyone's like when it comes to it.
And we are not underway yet.
No, so they changed it. People were ready up early. So someone readied up and everyone started ready up. But then David Lowface, who's the host, is changing lobby settings.
Ah, there we go. And a name I'm not familiar with in our Twitch chat, we've got Cam5675 saying Upper Tornado. Good evening to you, Cam, and hopefully Tornado further extends their championship lead. And on that note, I think we should actually reflect on the championship while we wait for our lobby settings to be resolved. I was going to say resorted and resolved in the same like word there. I don't know what that was. I do apologise. But yeah, Tornado, despite that crash in last week's feature race, leads our championship by 22 points over Crossbury and Revenge Zilla, who missed out last week. and I believe he's not here. Nope, he is here this week, is in third. Then we've got Brookieman, our reigning champion, up in fourth, so quite a good haul of points for the Campos. Then we've got Lewis Yorkie in fifth, tied with Shadows. And like I've said around Zandvoort and as well around Spa, so many close battles in our championship despite it being quite a large spread. Let's lead on to the constructor standings. We've got the Carouse Racing Team on 140 points. We've got Trident in second on 84. Then we've got MP Motorsport, Campos, Virtuosi and High Tech. Between them, only 9 points separating those teams. And yeah, not really much more to say. So quite a few drivers looking for a strong response from Spa, a few drivers looking to bounce back, and quite a few drivers as well just hoping to get some points on the board.
I'm trying to see who's struggling for points in the and people like Ashi, CTX need to get some points. Biddle's only on 1. Weirbum needs to get some points. I know Tisham's had a very incident-filled start to the season, so hopefully tonight he can get his championship going, fight going. As we've still got loads of races left to go. We've got
Of course,
11 still left.
Yeah, this season's championship is much wider spread than last season's campaign, where I think we only had 7 races, if I'm correct.
6.
This season, 6 races, excuse me. And this time next week, we will be on our 6th race, which will take place in the brilliantly beautiful country of France and Le Castellet. So, quite the contrast to tonight around Mexico. See more of a thunderstorm, if anything, rather than a slight rain shower. But touch on what you said as well here, Gary, regarding the conditions, it's certainly going to be a little bit more like how would I word this? It's going to be a lot less like how to say, like, they don't want to, like, our drivers will take a lot more caution towards these conditions, but at the same time they will also want to try and be as quick as possible. So it's just about balancing the ability to go quick in these conditions whilst also just trying to keep it in a straight line.
Yeah, I think, yeah, like you said, yeah, it's going to be hard because this track you want low wings for the straight because you don't want to be a sitting duck, but you also, in these conditions, also to have some grip because I don't think 0-0 will work in the wet. But they're going to have to be really. I think most drivers will probably go for a dry setup because I think it's easier to drive in the wet with a dry setup than drive with a wet setup in the dry. If you get what I mean.
Yeah, you will want to find that happy medium between straight line speed and downforce, but also we're very unfamiliar to wet conditions across both campaigns of the Formula 2 because, if I'm correct in saying this, we've only ever had one wet race across both championships campaigns so far, and that was just the one time out in Austria, a track that's almost completely different to Mexico. But at the same time, it will throw up maybe a few surprises as to who can find that happy medium in both setup and the ability to just keep to keep their car in a straight line. As we'll jump on board with Sargent here, just seeing how slippery the conditions are. He's turning the wheel hard to the left and he's still almost going in a straight line. That's just how much aquaplaning our drivers have to contend with this evening. It's like they're just driving on ice.
Yeah, I was just about to mention, look how many cars are out. Usually in our F2 sessions it's a while before people go out because obviously you only get one set of tyres to do these qualifying sessions. But I think here in the wet, full wets, I think everyone knows that the tyres are going to last quite a while, and they know they won't have to use them again. They're just going to burn them all out.
Looking as well, Tornado actually correcting me there, and is correct in saying that we've actually had another race with wet conditions. That would be Zandvoort last time out. I tell a lie, that'll be 2 races ago. And just seeing there, we got CTX up at the stadium trying to back up and get a bit of clear track. The amount of spray from behind the back of CTX's car, that's going to cause a few problems if our drivers get caught up in that. Now, Lewis Shorty going around the first few corners now, relatively safe, but that's about what you would expect from the Prema. And yellow flag in sector 3, that'll just be for the cars trying to find a bit of clear track, and we'll stick with Lewis Shorty for the remainder of their first flying lap. And also mention as well, like, there's only 5 drivers that are still in the pit lane in the opening 5 minutes of this qualifying session. And compared to Zandvoort, for example, we only saw like 3 timed laps, and that was after the halfway mark in our qualifying.
I'm just watching Ballwig go around the final sector now, as he's the first guy that will set a lap time. There's a yellow flag in the middle sector. Someone's had a bit of an issue.
Oh dear. Yes, all of our drivers struggling with that hairpin, and looking like Bolly with a 140.3, Revengezilla now with a 140.6. We'll stick with Lewis Yorkie to go around the final corner. Sargent on a 141.2, and Yorkie almost crawling around the final corner, but a 139.7, and the first driver of this session so far to get below the 1 minute 40s.
Oh, never mind.
Should say the second driver, as our reigning champion Brukeyman does a 139.5. We'll have a quick search through the grid and see who else is on a lap. We've got Crostery just going around the stadium now. CTX, I think CTX might have had that yellow flag while we were spectating Lewis Yorkie, but now Crostery around the final corner, and it's a 140.5. So we're seeing, like usual in these qualifying sessions, we're seeing quite a few distant times from each other, but at the same time a few drivers are also having their own little mini battles, if you will, with others around the grid, as TS9 does a 141.1. That puts him currently in 8th.
Right, Tisham's coming around the final corner right now, and he goes a 140.7 to P8, sorry.
Displacing TS9, and we'll actually have a look here with Tornado and maybe just have a little bit of an insight. We'll go on board with Tornado and just see how heavy he is on the brakes here into this first corner. A track, I must mention as well, with such a long run down towards the first corner, the slipstream will be in quite a bit of effect for the opening few laps, and DRS here, I was expecting a few overtakes, but with these raining, with these wet conditions, the DRS might not even be to any of our drivers' arsenal tonight, so overtaking might not be as easy as we think.
It's all going to be down to who's been bravest on the least amount of wings. It's nice and clean at the moment from Tornado. Been really tentative through that middle sector.
Goes for a first flying lap for Tornado, our championship leader. They will want to try and get a feel for the track, as we're looking at the timetable. They now Locker up in 6th place on a 140.2. Tornado very wide there, going in towards the stadium. Brukeyman extending that gap at the top to a 39.2. Cross today on a 39.8. but Tornado are in the final 2 corners now. And we'll see where our championship leader goes in respect to the others. And it's a 139.4.
It's not as
So he's keeping Brookie.
it's not so he's not as slow as he was saying.
Certainly within touching distance of Brookieman within the opening exchanges. And Brookieman, I think, has ran out of fuel and is backed off of this current lap. So we're seeing the opening exchanges as, oh dear, I think Locker had a bit of a mishap there going around the first few corners. Ashley staying out the way of everyone else. And there we go, we've got our Tier 3 championship leader right now, Diamond, just starting their lap. So Gary, if you'd like to take us through a quick lap here of the Mexican Autodrome.
Let's see where he's going to break. He's going to break at the 50, about 100 metre marker board. Gets tight to the curb to get over as far as he can to get the rotation. It's not going to take as much curve as most other drivers will. He's going to get a tow from the car in front of his teammate, of Soprano Legend, who will... Is it Soprano Legend? I think it might be Biddle, sorry. I think it might be Biddle. Yep, it's Biddle, his teammate, who gave him a nice little tow down into the first sector checkpoint as he goes for a little bit of a side, which is going to lose him a little bit of time. As we're now going to go through the tricky Maggots and Beckett kind of theme style corners to go left, then right, then going to go left again, and then right. It's literally double Maggots and Beckett's, that is. It's so easy to invalidate, as he's going to try and make the track as wide as possible to get the best entry as possible through here. Going to keep it in the white lines if we go into the stadium section, which is going to go tight to the curb. And then see what he's run in the final corners. Will he go wide? He loses the rear a little bit under braking, as he's going to take our drag to the line. It's going to be P11, particularly wide to over 140.6.
A decent banker lap for Diamond, and thank you to Gary for taking us through that lap. Twitch chat here from Soprano Legend saying the conditions are absolutely torrential. Again, very rarely do we actually get rain across any of our tier series. But looking now, Diamond right behind their teammate Biddle, and is gonna scratch his back here a little bit, trying to give him a bit of a slipstream down towards the turn 4, turn 5 chicane before a double apex hairpin of turn 6. He should get out the way before, as Gary mentioned, the Maggots and Beckett's type meandering middle sector of this track. But no, looking like Diamond's going to stay ahead of Biddle here, try and offer a slipstream for the remainder of this lap, as we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. I think that could be TGM. No, it's not TGM. He's about to start his latest lap. Ah, here it is. It's Ashy fighting away here with one of the Tridents. I think that could be of Frostery, but TGM just starting their lap now. We'll jump back to the ART of Biddle. Around the final 2 corners now goes Biddle, in desperate need of some points here and a decent qualifying session, and up to the line. He doesn't improve on 11th, but Diamond actually improved and has actually displaced Biddle in 10th.
I think Diamond was actually doing the lap. Maybe Biddle got a bit off put with him in front with the spray. But I also want to say welcome back to Biddle, who has been away this week on holiday in Ibiza, so it's always good to see him as he runs a little bit wide. Now going to use his teammate as a tow. As I think Diamond has run out of fuel. He has run out of fuel.
Yeah, and looking as well, CTX is actually not too far away from Diamond, and potentially a sprint race pole, a 140.5, and there's quite a few candidates here so far for the mid, across the mid-table as Revengezilla goes up into P5, and due time is any to lead on to as Yorkie enters the pits, presumably for a quick fuel stop. But we'll have a quick talk over the format for any new viewers that are here this evening. So the way the Formula 2 qualifying will work, it will be a 30-minute qualifying session, and the results of that qualifying as Sargent goes into 12th, Brookieman trying to improve on their time.
Holy shit.
Not only just improve, pardon the pun, they have completely blew everyone out of the water. A 1:37.7. That is 1.5 seconds quicker than Tornado in second place.
Should go into game chat and
Wow.
just shout, "You sweaty bastard," to him.
A bit of retrospective here. The gap between TS9 and Tornado is only just larger than the gap between Tornado and Brookieman. That is an absolutely fantastic lap.
The track must be getting
Like,
drier then. Because I just watched Monkey
I don't-
lose by 2 seconds on his lap.
I don't think the word fantastic can do that lap justice for Brookieman. That is, like, no words can do that lap justice. Cross today has improved on their time though, and they're starting their latest lap. But anyway, like we were saying about the format, it will be a 30-minute full qualifying, and the results of this session will be used for our feature race, the second of 2 races this evening, but the race following qualifying will be our sprint race. So as of right now, Biddle, who is currently in 10th, just ahead of Locker, Biddle would be on pole for our sprint race. Bally would then be second, so on and so forth throughout the top 10. The top 10 will be flipped for the sprint race, but the feature race, these are the results as you will see, and I would not be surprised right now if Brookieman just retires from the session now with just over 13 minutes left. Someone might need to strap a rocket ship, as we've got something else happening on track. What's happened?
David Oldface has just gone for the biggest slide through the Magnussen Beckett set. I have no idea how he's caught that. Jesus Christ. Literally, just imagine the whole car was sideways and he managed to hold it as he's gone for again for a bit of Tokyo Drift through the final corner.
And David in the pits, 19th place so far for David, and I'm seeing your point here. Monkey Boy Kurt is up now in second place, a 1:38.9. So maybe the conditions are improving.
Yeah, it's not seen much of Monkey this season. I think this is to be fair, I'll give him something. This is his kind of track. He won the Tier 1 race round in these same conditions. Managed to call it with Revengezilla, and then obviously in the 5 Upper Championship he won again in these conditions. So maybe these are his conditions for this track.
Always expect the unexpected, and of course Kurt with a victory to his name, a sprint race victory around Zandvoort just a few weeks ago. But the only driver so far yet to set a lap here is Willy Bum, just making their way around the Maggots and Beckett's like Sector 2 now. Seeing there's a little bit more confidence there. He's not lifting off the throttle as much as what I would have expected from the start of the session. He's still fairly flat out through the complex. And now up towards the stadium now. I think maybe looking towards maybe trying to challenge Tidjum, who is in 10th. So looking to try and get a sprint race pole here is Willy Bum. Needs to find a 1:40.1 to take that away from TGM as, oh, but a bit of a spinner there in the final corner. I'm not sure what's happened there, but Willy Bum up to the line, and it's a 1:42.0, but I think that was just more of a sighter lap than if anything.
Looks like the spread has got a bit less for everyone, so maybe it is starting to ease off a bit. Also,
as well, Brookie Min. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, it's also got to be careful around here with all like people running out of field because of the spray. It's so hard to see people coming when people are coming along.
There's the awkward silence. But just staying there, David looked a little bit more comfortable around the middle sector, but that's for his outlap, so this is a lap it will count as we've got yellow flags in sector 1. I think that's just everyone just trying to stay out of the way, but with the amount of outlaps as well and the drivers that will be running out of fuel, traffic could be playing a bit of a problem as well towards the end of this session. But looking at the two Brookie men, despite having nearly a 1.5 second lead so far between him and second place, I don't think he feels too safe on that, seeing what Kurt could do with his lap time.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on his lap time, see if he's up or down. He's 3 tenths down, so he's got the fuel. He'll probably come in. He'll probably go for another run.
Just having a look down the start finish straight. We'll jump on board here with Locker down in 13th and just seeing how long this main straight here is here in Mexico. So if I were Brookie Man, I wouldn't be worried about the pace you have, but it's about where you'll be after the first few corners, because that slipstream effect, as I've mentioned earlier, that's going to be so important if you get a good start or a bad start here.
Yeah, because you could be on pole, but by the end of the straight, you could be down in like 8th. It's like it's just invalidated going wide. There's one good thing about the F2 cars. If you invalidate, you don't need to worry about slowing down to build up the battery. You can just... Whoa! Gets locked on the curbs. You can just keep going around, like I was saying. The F2 cars, you can just keep going on for another lap if you've got the fuel.
Yeah, so we've got no ERS, excuse me, no ERS on these Formula 2 cars, but with one positive I would say about recharging the battery comes a bit of a negative. With the fuel tanks as well, I don't think you can change how much fuel you have in your car. You've only got enough to do like 3 laps or something before you eventually run out, so just getting that lap together is just all the more important.
Yeah, where is Brookie? Brookie is 7 tenths down, so but hasn't validated. He'll probably come in and go for another go.
As I think Tornado has heard you on that, they've just left the pits now. So with just under 10 minutes left in this session, we've got quite a few drivers getting a bit more of a feeling to this Mexico Grand Prix track before the final exchanges in this qualifying session, and we'll stick with Biddle for the remainder of this lap. But with that fuel light flashing like it's Blackpool on ecstasy, it's not gonna be very comfortable for Biddle.
I think he'll finish the lap.
With all this traffic though around the middle sector, it's not going to favour him too much. Hopefully avoids all that traffic, and actually pretty familiar scenario here. The two ARTs are actually in really relatively close proximity, as Biddle is trying to return the favour to Diamond. Trying maybe go quicker than him, but both of these drivers are still out to get TGM.
I've seen that Biddle, that was naughty.
Diamond got around the final corner, and yeah, Diamond in the pits, and I think Biddle, judging off what you said, backed off and cut a bit of the stadium.
Yeah.
So as with a quick intermission in this qualifying, as everyone is either just going to set a quick warm-up lap or look to... I just look to get a bit of a fuel stop going. Shadows, half a second up on their time, so I'll actually stick with them for the final sector. Currently in 8th place, and a relatively quick driver across. I believe he's in the Tier 2 category, and correct me if I'm wrong, he won last time out in the Tier 2 race around Monaco. And a 4th place there for Shadows. And now we'll use this as an intermission as all of our drivers are in the pits. We've got C. Carey in the chat saying this might be it for qualifying. The track's a lot worse than earlier. So not quite working out too well for them. And we've got Brookieman in the chat saying that the track is very, very bad. And having a quick joke saying super soft weather yet. Well, I don't think you're too far off. As Lexus goes into 2nd place. That's a lap that came out of nowhere for the Prema, but Tornado needs this lap to try and potentially move up towards possibly even 3rd or 2nd place on the grid for our sprint race, and he's only 4th. So Tornado's struggling a little bit with the conditions. Soprano Legend saying they're going to have one more go. Currently down in 18th place is Soprano Legend, so I suppose I would say if they do find a bit of time, they will move up the order. And yeah, for all we know, they could be getting sprint race pole. And before I forget, Shadows at the start of the broadcast did redeem a Drinks and Colcom's drink redemption, and I've completely frauded them. So I do apologise. Yes, I do apologise for that, Shadows, but for the proof that I will not fraud you, there you go.
What are you drinking anyway? Because that's going to fraud him even more.
Yeah, I'm pretty bad. It's like either I go for a Pepsi or a Pepsi Max, and tonight is another Pepsi Max.
I think you should. I think you should drown your sorrows after the weekend you've had. I'll come and join you.
Trust me, it's yeah. We should not mention the weekend.
Is anyone running 4-0 wings? Or 0-0 wings?
Are you mentioning number 4 for the amount of goals Rangers conceded? Or the amount of times Liverpool hit the crossbar?
Pretty much. I think Liverpool and Everton both hit the same.
There we go, so the feeling's mutual between the pair of us, except one team got absolutely hammered, the other team is just shit. Oh!
Who was that?
What the hell?
Who was that? Was that...
You saw that, didn't you, right?
Was that Bookie that's like...
Did he drift out of the pit box?
I'm thinking he off spun.
What on earth was that?
I have never seen that before.
Can you clip that? I think that might make the end of season montage. What on earth was that?
I think I've got it. Hang on, let me just check. No, I'm just watching the clip back.
That's one of the only few Codemasters bugs That's one of the only few Codemasters bugs or glitches that I'm actually satisfied with. And there's plenty. But looking at Lexus, while we were going through the bit of a footballing, I'll just skip that. Lexus up in 2nd now, and is 2nd of our drivers in the 137s, and Tornado has responded and now went in 3rd. 3 minutes left in this qualifying session. Everyone's out on track apart from TS9, but I think that will change in just a few seconds. Shadows in the Twitch chat is saying disgraceful. I'm sorry, alright? I meant to say it, but I forgot. We were getting so caught up in the lobby. Right, you know what, just for you, mate. Just for you. I'll do one for myself. I'll make it up to you. There we go. And now comes the part where I make a toast or a cheers for the evening, and I trust everyone an absolute belter. So, cheers to a good evening of racing, and hopefully no car parks at turn 1.
Yeah, Tornado. Get yourself clean this week, mister.
Nah, who been the barriers again? I apologise for that tornado, but well, I mean, he's not in the barriers, but Tornado has retired in the pit lane, so looks like they're content with third place. I can't go any quicker, but the gap between Tornado and Brookieman is over 1 second, so that is certainly quite the bit of confidence for the Campos.
But Alexis up there in B2, that's someone that we did not think would be up there.
And I don't think they'll be improving on second, as they can try all they want to get to the line and start one more lap. They are not going to make it, as Willy Bum has retired in the pits, so they are content with starting in the Nepenthes place of P16.
Easy top 8. 16th!
It could be if we have a Magello-esque sort of race start, and Tornado saying that the track got so much worse as Kurt goes into third place, so maybe it's just something about Mexico that Kurt does enjoy.
And it's not the food.
Yep. And 30 seconds left in qualifying, and just see now how busy the final sector is, and Brookieman. Wow. I said earlier that the 137 lap won't be done justice. That has somehow not even done a crime, let alone done it justice.
He's 5 seconds faster than some other people. David goes P16.
Hey, go on, David. But yeah, I think if you want to place your bets or predictions for the race, I suggest gambling your mortgage on Brookieman to at least score a podium, because that is an absolutely sensational lap. But as qualifying now runs down here in Mexico, we'll just look to any further places as Locker goes up into 8th. So that's a much needed lap there for the Dams. Who else have we got on a lap? Going towards the end of their lap, actually. Ashley's backed off of their current lap. We've got Sargent on a lap. TS9, David has invalidated their current lap, so won't improve. Brookieman, he's actually trying to go faster. Oh dear. And Kurt up to the line now. Can they challenge? No, they just miss it, but still a third place for Kurt. That's a really strong showing for the Carlin. Revengezilla up in 5th, Yorkie on a lap right now with Shadows and Crossity 7th and 8th, Locker currently 9th, and Biddle has backed. Oh, Biddle, I saw that. That was a bit rude.
He did.
Bit of wheel to wheel there. Bit of a wheel to wheel there with Diamond. Diamond down in 12th.
TS9 goes to P10.
And the Steels sprint race pole for now. And yeah, I think Biddle and Diamond having a bit of an exchange there, as Bolly has invalidated, will not improve on their current lap. Pidgeon has backed off and he's ran out of fuel, and Ashy has, I think, also ran out of fuel. David's invalidated their current lap. So that will conclude qualifying. Oh, Cruiser, your mic. Oh dear. What's up with my mic? What's happening, guys? Could you say? Oh dear. Gary, like to take over.
Oh, for God's
problems.
sake! What has happened there? Oh, damn it!
And mic check. Is that any better?
Mic check.
Oh dear.
Are we all good?
Need to check. I do apologise for the crackling if that was picked up, or how drastically it was. Saying, oh dear. So saying that your mic's okay. Ah, there we right. So, okay, so my
That's
mic's
good.
been resolved. Right there we go.
Yeah.
Right, I do apologise for that. I was unaware to the crackling of the microphone, and I've probably deafened all of you for the race. So I do apologise for that. But looking at the qualifying now, Burkiman by nearly 1 second over Lexus in second takes pole for the feature race. But on the front row this evening around Mexico for our sprint race is TS9 and Locker. So a much needed performance for Locker, trying to get some points on the board. And we'll just have a quick run through of the qualifying. We've got Soprano Legend down the bottom, just couldn't quite get their lap together. We've got CTX and then Willy Bum in 18th. David Lowface in 17th. Then we've got Sargent. Tidgham getting a 5th place penalty for contact with Biddle. I'm not sure what that was all about though. Might be one for the stewards. Ashy and Diamond 14th and 13th respectively. Bolly in 12th. In the second, the Virtuosis in 12th. Biddle in 11th. And the top 10 will be TS9, Locker, Crossray, Shadows, Revengezilla, Lewis Yorkie in 5th, Tornado in 4th, and the top 3 of Monkey Boy Kurt, Lexus, and Brookieman. And Brookieman, I'm not sure if this is a flex or just sheer cockiness from Brookieman saying that they had another second in them, but they nearly binned it out of the S's. As yet more rain around Mexico, so looking like we've got a few more wet races to come. And at this point, I'd like to say, do not. Oh, okay. I was just about to say it. I didn't say it beforehand, but I was just about to say it. Do not ready up, but I think someone has misclicked. So, short intermission between qualifying and the main, and the featured, the sprint race. Excuse me. Yeah, not really much more to say. So, all drivers will be starting on the wet compound tyres unless someone decides to be incredibly brave, which I highly doubt. Oh, what a surprise! No one is on the dry tyres.
Hang on a minute. So, I've noticed something. Tidgham's 5-place grid penalty has been applied to him in the sprint race.
Yeah, this happened with Brookieman around I think it was Brazil last season. So the sprint race penalty, well, for the penalty he elapsed in qualifying, takes it into the sprint race. But for the feature race, I think he'll still start in 15th. In Brookieman's case, I believe he qualified second in Brazil, but he got flipped down towards P9, and then he got the 5 places added, so he started in 14th that day, but still somehow won the race. I don't know how though. But as we make our way through the formation lap, I'd like to ask my lovely co-coms to take us through the grid for our sprint race.
Right, in 20th we have Tidgham serving his penalty. In P19 we have Soprano Legend covering him for collateral ads. In P18 it's CTX. P17 is Willy Bum 7. P16 is the mighty David Rollface. In P15 it's Sergeant Lennonoff. P14 is Ashy in his second race in Formula 2. P13 is our Tier 3 leader in Diamond. P12 is Bailey. P11 is Ibiddlex. P10 on feature race pole is Ricky Min. In P9 we have Lexus. P8 is Monkey Boy Kurt. P7 is Tornado, our championship leader. In P6 is LWS Yorkius. Whoever that was Zilla. In P5 zooming up to his grid spot. It's probably going to disqualify now. In P4 it's Shadows. P3 it's Crossbury, the mighty Irishman. In P2 it's FPIL Locker, and in P1 on a very aggressive right-handed look to the inside is TS9 on for sprint pole.
Thank you for that, Gary, as we've got a brilliant camera angle to spectate TS9 and the grid start. We've got the 5 lights here in the downpour of Mexico. In the long run towards turn 1, it's lights out and away we go. TS9 a relatively decent start from pole, but Locker inching closer towards the high tech, and we're 3 wide further back. An absolutely lightning start. I think that's for Lewis Yorkie and Brookieman, but down towards turn 1 we go. We're almost 4 wide. And the heavy braking now in towards turn 1. TS9 staying out of danger, but very wide there around turn 1. He's going to come back on the track, and if they made contact with Lockhart, rejoining the track, and that's put him right down in the midfield of the pack. But Lockhart does lead them away. Shadows up in second, then we've got Lewis Yorkie and Brookieman already up in 4th. Tell a lie, up in 3rd, batting away with the Prema of Lewis Yorkie. Yorkie trying to hold it around the outside here of turn 4. Everyone's sliding around trying to find some grip, but Brookieman already not even completed half of a lap here around Mexico, and they're started in 10th and they're already up into P3.
Yeah, I've just seen TS9 has had an absolute stinker of the start. It's down to basically swap positions nearly with Rookie Min, as there's so much cars in the middle section. Oh my word, look at them all through that middle sector. They're all going through one by one now. Pigeon's up 3 places up to P17. I saw he took it very carefully into turn 1.
Have a look at the positions graphic. Well, I think Tornado might need an invite back to the session. I did see that they left at the bottom of the screen, but leading around now to start lap 2. Lockhart leads him over the line here, but Brookieman, like, there's no words can do justice how quick he is around this track. Already up into 2nd place, passing Shadows, gaining all the time on Lockhart. Something tells me their setup is very, very minimal wings, gaining all the time on the dams, but he's just not quite close enough to make that overtake in towards turn 1. And we've got Shadows trying to stick his nose up the inside of Brookieman. Just wasn't quite happening on that occasion, but Brookieman, an absolutely incredible launch out of turn 3, and not even midway through lap 2. Brookieman down in 10th, around the outside of Locker, becoming the inside now for turn 5. Locker's still committed towards the outside line, but Brookieman, he just can't fight it. The inside now for the double apex of turn 6, and Brookieman, no words will do his pace justice. He is into the lead already after starting down in P10.
Right, Tornado's AI is still in P6, but it is holding up Monkey. Now, I have sent an invite to Tornado, but I don't know if he has received it, as 2 drivers have already got penalties. And TS9 is looking for a move on Lexus. Just bumped at the back of his rear. He's going to go around the outside. Lexus done a good defence there. What's up? That's Diamond now throws it up the inside into the hairpin and makes the move to go up to P13. Diamond's got a lot of work to do to gain back up. As the other battles, as TS9 looks to get on and re-overtake Diamond. I think TS9's running a low wing setup again. Diamond outbreaks him into turn 1. Now Brookie Min is now 2.4 seconds in front of Locker. He is just bolting around. I don't know if my commentator partner is still here.
Yeah, I was just letting you take us through that fight with Diamond and TS9, but I jumped up towards Lewis Yorkie, who's in 4th, Revengezilla very late on the brakes, and Tornado's having a few issues trying to get back into the lobby. I think a hard reset might be required for the championship leader, and he's once again another wet race, and he's been plagued with connection issues. So this is all just falling apart for Tornado, but he's still up in 6th place as CTX picks up a time penalty. And we've seen there Yorkie and Shadows almost pushing each other around the stadium, but Locker holding his own in second, but Brookieman 3.5 seconds clear already as we start lap 4 of 14, and I think Tornado might need another invite just because of the initial one you sent. It won't let him back into the lobby, but no DRS though, because of how wet the track is. DRS will not be enabled, so Yorkie, we're looking towards like Lewis Yorkie, Zilla, Tornado, currently still down in 6th, and as you said earlier, holding up Kurt a little bit. He goes very deep in towards turn 1, but with no DRS here, the drivers have got to try and do it the old-fashioned way, and Tornado's internet has gone. Oh dear.
Gone kaput. Is that also his championship going kaput up in smoke?
That's not good for Tornado. I was going to make a joke there, but I completely forgot what I was going to say. One of those that would sound better in your head. But Brookieman, no, I'll let you speak though.
Brookieman, I have no idea where he's getting his pace from. Is everyone sure he's driving on a wet track?
Truly incredible how quick Brookieman is around these conditions and this track, for that matter. But Locker, as I said, holding his own in second where he started this race. Shadows up in 3rd, and we've got Yorkie right behind the Carouse of Shadows, as there we go. All reliable has happened, and Brookieman is just going faster and faster. The gap now, he's pulling out almost 2 seconds a lap on the field around him, but Yorkie looking a bit closer now to Shadows, but Shadows is getting a bit of a slipstream from behind Locker, so that's helping him defend from the Prema. Revengezilla started 5th, still currently in 5th. Then we've got Tornado's AI car holding his own in 6th. Then we've got Kurt in 7th, and Bolly currently picking up the final point of it, very wide into turn 1. That's allowed Frosty to get up right behind the Virtuosi, who's made a relatively good start. Frosty dropping down the order though, looking to try and fight back up. But Bolly to the inside on the run up towards turn 4, and I think he's just going to hold off the threat of Frosty in that Trident. As up front though, further up front, Kurt down the inside of Tornado, up at the hairpin, and Kurt on lap 5 looks to finally got past that Charouz, and he's now up into 6th.
Biddle and Ashley are having a ding-dong battle through the tight section in start of sector 2. Ashley's literally pushing Biddle through the middle sector. It's a slight bump. There's another bump. This is not NASCAR, mate. People. No bump drafting.
As Crossface picked up a 3-second time penalty somewhere. So that fight with Bolly is now just swung very heavily in the favour of the Virtuosi, and we're almost 3 wide here going through the stadium as Crossface still fighting away with Bolly. Lexus in 10th. Ashy's got past Biddle. Diamond's now got past Biddle. TS9 is all over the back of the ART. We're almost 5 cars in unison now on the run down towards turn 1. Biddle getting a good launch though out of the final corner. That's going to allow him to go wheel to wheel with his teammate Diamond, but TS9 here trying to get the jump on the pair of them. We're 3 wide here going down towards turn 1. Who here is going to break the latest? And it's looking like TS9 is backed out of that one for the time being, but the ART's up front. They're still running wheel to wheel, but Biddle has finally got past Diamond, and with that TS9 says thank you very much, I'll follow Biddle through, and Diamond, after being 12th in this order on the run down towards turn 1, is now down in 14th. As what else has happened? I think they've had contact somewhere on track.
TS9 just outbroke himself completely and just hit the back of Biddle. I don't know if TS9's got damage.
Looking
really
towards
tell,
his,
'cause we got,
looking to his front
Yeah,
right
he's
end
got
plate
front wing
there.
damage.
Oh dear.
That's
It's
gonna be awful.
and the race has just gone from bad to worse to horrendous to horrible to an absolute nightmare for the high-tech of TS9, who did start this race on pole, is now down fighting in 14th place and fighting for any grip he can find. But I need to ignore the action a little bit here and just have a look here. There's a reason why this man is our champion.
Oh,
10
it's a bit of contact again.
10.5, 10.7 seconds clear of the Dams of Locker in second, who's still trying to fight off the threat of Shadows, Yorkie and Revengezilla now trying to get past the Prema. But this is now really the main fight here is for second place between those four cars. Then we've got, well, tell a lie, we've got I think, if I'm correct, 8 different constructors in the points places. And that is why we love sprint races, a bit of variety in the order, but Yorkie trying to make the move on Shadows, a bit late on the brakes. Just avoids contact from the Shadows in front, but Locker doing a stellar job defending from all these drives behind.
Lexus and Krosky are having a little bit of a ding-dong now, as Krosky has got up past Lexus.
Good defence from Crosstery, still holding on to 9th, but with those penalties that have been applied to both him and Lexus, Bolly doesn't really need to fight this as hard as he would be expecting to. But Revengezilla now right up behind Lewis Yorkie, now up towards the stadium. We've got the MP Motorsport to the outside now of the Prema as TS9. Yeah, it's been an absolute nightmare for the high-tech. Now he's got a time penalty to his name. Revengezilla almost pushing Yorkie around the entire final sector to start lap number 8 of 14. Locker under a bit of trouble now from Shadows, who's a bit closer now than what he was before. Yorkie and Revengezilla, this could be the chance for the MP Motorsport to try and retake second place in this championship, with Crosstery not storing any points. All points matter for the MP Motorsport, with the threat of Brookingman behind him in the championship, winning this race so far. But Zilla, just without that DRS, overtaking is just that little bit more difficult. They just can't quite get close enough to make that opportunity stick.
Oh, Sargent's had an issue. Sargent here ran off, making his own track.
Believe he might have outbraked himself into turn 1. That's allowed Tidgham to go for a little bit of a charge from the back of the grid, now up into 16th place. But Sargent, Soprano legend in 18th, CTX and Willybum heading up the field, as we'll jump up to the fight for 9th. And somewhere in all of this, Lexus has got past both Crosstery and Bolly, so they're now up into the points. But can they build that gap up to the Virtuosi?
Oh, look, he's got a penalty. Oh no. Brookingman's still going fastest like he needs to.
Double Dam's despair for both of the drivers, Locker and Willybum picking up a time penalty, and this heroic defence, what would be said for Locker, as we've got a yellow flag and Willybum is out of the race.
Oh, safety car, safety car.
And all of that work which has been done from Brookingman has now been completely eradicated, but Locker picking up that time penalty.
Oh no, it's happened again, it's happened again.
What's going on?
Again.
What's going on? Oh dear.
Oh, David Orfus has got a 5-second time penalty
Oh no, David.
for hitting the back of TS9. So you know that glitch that happens when the safety car comes out, it slams on a very high delta.
Oh yeah. I
If
was
there's anyone
seeing.
who's going to be really angry with this safety car, it's going to be Brookie. He's lost this entire race lead.
I'd say you should be grateful. 16 seconds he was leading at one stage, and now that's going to be down to absolutely nothing. That's fine. Well, if he can allow 16 seconds in just under 9 laps, he can probably get like 10 seconds within 5. So all that for nothing. But Locker picking up that penalty, that has completely ruined his race. And what could have been a good showing for a podium place, he could find himself possibly fighting just to stay in the points.
Let me look at the penalties here. Oh, I ain't got anything. There's the penalties. I'm looking in front of Tidgham right now. P8 is only about probably, if he can stay in 3-second gap, P8 Tidgham might and not get a penalty. He might gain up a fair few positions. As everyone in front of him has got at least 3 or 5 second penalty.
One driver this could benefit though would be Ashe. All 3 drivers in front of him have a time penalty, and if he does stay within the 3 seconds, could be looking for some points here.
That's getting clipped.
Yeah. Right. So one
one
driver this could benefit here is Diamond, of course, with the oh, what's happened here? Out of the final corner, we've got a bit of a car park.
Delta again.
Oh no. Anyway, one driver this could benefit here is Diamond. Of course, with the 5 drivers in front of him having time penalties. What's happened with Lexus? Lexus made a pit stop in there, so maybe some front wing damage for the Prema. Anyway, the point I was making though with Ashe will carry forward and stand with Diamond. Any hopes of getting points will rely on the restart. But I'd just like to take this opportunity to TS9, they've retired in the pits. And that rather summed up the sprint race. But I'll take this opportunity to say that under this safety car I would like to write down a Marcus Rashford sized paragraph and send that to Ashe for how absolutely gutted I am and truly sorry at that timing of the time penalty and the timing of that curse. We could not have scripted that if I tried. Oh, and I think we've got Delta issues again. Rookie men slamming on the brakes there down the main straight, and yeah, everyone's struggling with the Delta here. Right. Yeah, Ashe, Ashe, I'm truly sorry. Like, what on earth is happening with this Delta? Like, I'm gonna jump up 2 Brookiemen here. This.
Oh, Ashe's stopping again.
Yeah, Delta is playing silly buggers.
Yeah, legitimately from all the way back from Ashe, all the way back. Biddle, Diamond, David, Tidgham.
Yes.
Tidgham is doing really well not to get these penalties.
You know what happened with Ashe, right? Don't trust Tidgham. But yeah, it's. I don't understand though why we're having to slam on the brakes for Delta, despite the fact that half of the field is behind the safety car already. I don't quite understand that one. And we're looking now potentially 2 laps of racing for the end of this race, as we need to wait for the field to catch up, as Sargent, another time penalty for them. So that's ruined any minor chance of points for the Virtuosi.
Just to let you know, Cruz, I've already clicked that and put it in the members lounge.
Oh, truly lovely. No, I suppose.
To be fair, it's your first one.
It's my first one for a long time, I'll say that.
You know the meme where it's got the guy in the hang loose, and he's like, he looks and goes, "The first time, that's just my face looking at you."
Yeah, I do understand that reference and that meme, but I would think that was actually the first time I've truly cursed someone on the nose this
The
season
sergeant.
so far as Sergeant. It's just going from bad to worse for the Sergeant. But yeah, I think the last time I truly cursed someone badly it was Imola a few weeks ago,
Oh,
foreshadowing.
for God's sake!
That one's on you. That one's on you, mate.
Oh, for God's sake! How'd you get a fucking bounty on the safety car?
First time.
I feel really sorry. I feel really sorry for these drivers from Ashley down. They aren't going to catch it up, and I can tell you who is definitely not going to catch up the safety car is Sergeant Raninoff. Sergeant just
Yeah.
box and retire the car.
Looking
Sergeant, box. We must stop the car. Box.
Sergeant box for super soft tyres.
No, don't tell him that because he'll actually do it.
Try him.
Also, I was looking through the members lounge, and Brookie is saying his tyres are gone, so he's maybe under attack. He may have pushed too much. Also, I saw what happened to Weibam. Well, I found out his controller disconnected for a second, and he nearly wiped a lot of people out. As Brookie's gone off the track, and Locker has.
Locker's retaking the
Overtaken.
place.
No, I think because Brookie was off track, I think that's allowed.
It hasn't allowed Brookieman to retake the place, and that claim he said about his tyres starting to go off, that could have been emphasised there. So that 16-second gap Brookieman built up before the safety car has been wiped out, and because of that safety car, so has his stranglehold, so to say, of leading the race. And yeah, so that, and Diamond now 3 seconds as well, but Locker leads him over the line to start lap 13 of 14, but Locker carrying that 3-second penalty. It's not going to help his cause. Brookieman, slight mistake under the safety car, is now second. Shadows up in third. Yorkie dropping Revengezilla rather drastically there, and then fifth obviously is Revengezilla. We've got Kurt in sixth, Tornado's AI in seventh. I think he managed to rejoin though just a few laps ago. And Crossray and Bolly resuming their fight. Bolly to the inside of the Trident, but Crossray will get the traction down out of the first chicane, and he's able to maintain that 8th place for now. But we'll jump up to the front here for the main fight as Locker trying to hold up Brookieman and possibly make Brookieman lose a few more places here if he does proceed to hold him up.
Probably all the drivers right now, tyres are absolutely screaming as Monkey's gonna nearly had a look at Zilla into the Maggots and Beckett's section of the track. Not really much overtakes you can do there. As Locker nearly loses it into the wall. Rookie's gonna take this opportunity to go up the inside. Locker's defended it quite well. Gonna force Brookie to go wide. Will Brookie do the switch back? Locker's blocked it quite well. Goes a little bit wide. Oh, Brookie's getting right up at the curb. C-checks here apparently.
As we start the final lap here in Mexico, Locker driving an absolutely resilient race, and Tornado is in the pits.
Oh, it's kicked him again.
Oh no, Tornado.
I just noticed on the fucking pit crew, they just wiped his helmet.
Oh dear, well, nice details, Codemasters. With that, please fix your servers. But Locker out Brookieman, the Campos to the outside of the dams on the run down towards turn 4. A rather favourite overtaking spot for these drivers, and it's been made especially top class there by Brookieman. They retake the lead of this race, but Locker, with that 3-second penalty, we'll have a look at the leader graphic and see that the 3-second penalty he currently has will drop him down into 6th place, as we got a yellow flag in sector 3,
Sergeant.
and Sargent went straight on at the stadium hairpin, but Brookieman hasn't been full and plain sailing for the Campos. Of course, he absolutely zoomed away at the start of the race, taking the lead midway through lap 2, starting from 10th. He'll have pole position for the feature race, and after today, you got pole, 4 points in qualifying, potentially match points. Oh dear, I think my mic's going. Oh dear. But anyway, Brookieman around the final corner, he is going to be in prime position and pole position for the feature race, and he wins in Mexico. Shadows will take second place in Yorkie, another sprint race podium for Yorkie. We've got Revengezilla in 4th, Lockhart does hold on to 5th, with Kurt in 6th, Crossbury in 7th, I think he might have spun over the line, and Bolly, 8 constructors in the points. Wow. Well, I need to reset my mic real quick in case it's getting a bit static.
Well, what are you coming in the box for? Oh my god, did you just try and kill yourself, Soprano, and fail at it?
From the pre-season.
Oh, Liam. Well, not Brookieman gets driver 8, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say I agree with what the game says.
Well, no need for a sprint race standout vote, as Brookieman will win that as well. So like I was saying, 4 points for qualifying and max points in the sprint race, pole position for the feature race, and prime position to take the max haul here in Mexico is Brookieman. As we'll get a quick look at the overall standings and that fastest lap time. Wow. Almost 2 seconds a lap quicker than everyone in the field. An absolute canter for the Campos. Brookieman wins the sprint race here in Mexico. Shadows will take second place, and some good points for the Shadows team. And Yorkie, like I said, I believe that's his 4th podium in the sprint races this season, or it's his 3rd, not too sure on that. Revengezilla back up in the points in 4th. Locker, a really strong performance for the Dams, but the 3-second penalty came back to haunt him. He'll take 5th. Kurt in 6th place, more points for Carlin, chipping away is the Carlin team. Crossbury in 7th, and Bolly rounding out the points for our sprint race. And as our Totoms has mentioned, no need for a sprint race standout, because that result also will stand out like a sore thumb. Brookieman picks up that vote also. Just need to wait for the lobby countdown to start, and yeah, so any comment for that race, Gary, or are we just going to look towards a 30-second victory for Brookieman in the feature race?
Honestly, I think he's gonna just bounce away with it again. Well, I don't know. Maybe the other drivers were might be able to keep up with him a bit better once it gets a bit dry.
Looking at the Twitch chat here, Soprano basically saying that entire race was horrible, and Shadows with a bit of a theory here saying that Brookieman could be using full traction as it's a dry race and Tornado's struggling once again with their connection. This last week and a half, or shall I say these last last race and a half for Tornado, it just hasn't worked out for them whatsoever. A retirement in the feature race at Spa, a rather poor sprint race, and he just can't quite get back in the session, and Soprano Legend might require an invite, please. Might require an invite, please, Derek. So I think Tornado.
How much for the invite, Soprano?
Wow.
How much?
You're actually ransoming with them. I am shocked.
Yeah. How much for it? Come on, I'll send you the invite anyway. But I want money for it.
My
I
man.
want, I want, I want you to do a gifted sub.
My man.
Nah, you're not skint, Liam. I know you're not.
Yeah, Tornado.
Busby, Liam
Um,
Busby. I know you're not skint.
yeah. Tornado. My Prime sub will renew soon, so there you go. So we do get our subscription. But Tornado saying that it keeps kicking me out of the lobby. I think this might be your last chance, buddy. I'm not too sure though. Don't think we've kept
I've
count.
I've invited him twice before. This is his last time. If he lags out one more time or it doesn't, well, technically, I don't know. Has he managed to join in the lobby? Because technically, if it's only on joining in the lobby,
He did join in the sprint race. He rejoined in the sprint race and then he left. So I think this would be his second chance, as both our drivers are back in the lobby. But I think it will be one more invite for Tornado, or he will be instructed to retire from the race, and that is not what our championship leader needed. And also a little bit of maybe a little bit of a unknown fact here. Out of this season, I think this is the first time that Tornado has not got pole position. He's took pole in the previous 4 races, and Brookieman today is only the second pole sitter in this campaign.
yeah, those two. I think last season were the only two people who were getting poles. I think Tornado had every pole except the last race.
As the countdown has begun, and I'm actually looking through here. Yes, Tornado did take pole in the first 3 races. This is Brookieman's second on the bounce. And looking to make it a second feature race victory on the bounce as well is the Campos. So we wait now for the lobby to sort itself out and we shall get underway for the feature race. And finally, in relatively realistic conditions, to Mexico. Absolutely bone dry and very, very sunny.
That'd be quite nice to actually be in sunlight. No more miserable.
I suppose being from the UK, or more so Scotland, I am very, very prone to rain. So I've got more used to that than I have to sunshine.
They're going off the track. Who is that? Oh, he joined in and it kicked him out again.
It's just not went well for our championship leader this evening, and I think, as the saying goes, 3 strikes and you are out.
I think this is his last time. Yeah, so Tornado, I'm going to invite you in. And then what I need you to do is I need you to pull over to the side of the track, off track, and retire the car and the first lap, please. So your AI doesn't cause absolute carnage, if you can, that is.
An absolute disaster for the championship leader. Very minimal points for Tornado. And in a race that they were looking to try and respond to Brookieman, it's just completely went south. As Brookieman, yes, I have rectified that, and Tornado saying it won't let me in the game. Hard reset your game, Tornado, and hopefully we get you in. So unfortunately you can't retire the car.
Drink.
A quick drink from Soprano Legend, good luck mate, and we've completely missed out the formation lap. I'll run that through very quickly. Soprano Legend in P20, and we've got CTX in 19th with Willy Bum 18th, then we've got David Lawface, Sargent, looking to try and make amends from the sprint. Tidgham up in 15th, so this is his original qualifying position. We've got Ashy, Diamond, Bolly, Biddle and TS9 in 10th, looking to try and have a better feature race ended sprint. Locker in 9th, Crossray 8th, Shadows in 7th, Revengezilla is in 6th, Lewis Yorkie in 5th, Tornado will be starting 4th but will not make any further gains in this race. Kurt in 3rd, and in the front row we've got the Prema of Lexus and the championship, and I would say the championship leader, but the champion so far in Brookieman. Quick drink before we start today's race. 5 lights ahead of the drivers. And we are underway for the feature race here in Mexico. Lexus with an absolutely appalling start down towards turn
Tornadoes,
1.
AI.
Trying to fight the best he can here is Tornado's AI, but it's not going to matter, as actually he's mounting an attack here on Kurt down towards turn 1. He is holding his own here as the Robo Tornado, but Brookieman up at front did get the start he needed. As Soprano Legends left again, oh dear. But
This is the last time as well, unfortunately.
oh dear. Anyway, but Brookieman leading the way, Monkey Boy Kurt in second, and we've got Yorkie and Revengezilla resuming their fight from the sprint race. Tornado's AI in 5th, and then we've got Shadows in 6th, Locker in 7th, Flexus 8th, TS9 in 9th, and Crossdiddy rounding out the top 10 so far. A relatively clean opening exchanges to the races, as Tornado has let Shadows through, and Soprano Legend has joined up. Locker now trying to mount a challenge on on Tornado, but up at the front here, Kurt under massive pressure from Revengezilla, and a slight bit of contact there from the MP Motorsport on the Carlin. Revengezilla trying to hold it around the outside here of the Carlin, and he does get the move done, but Brookieman already 3.5 seconds clear of this fight for second. Revengezilla will inherit that so far, but on the run down towards turn 1, the slipstream in effect here. Yorkie with an absolutely almighty slipstream behind Revengezilla with 3 wide here into turn 1. Kurt trying to hang it around the outside here of the MP Motorsport, which becomes the inside for turn 2, but bobbles over the curbs, and Revengezilla will hold that place. But now Lewis Yorkie trying to get past the Carlin here with Shadows lingering further back. We've got Locker, Lexus, Tornado, Biddle and TS9 rounding out the top 10, but Kurt now to the outside of Yorkie around turn 4. We've got a bit of a car park there as Locker. Might have been hard done by that time penalty, I think, but Kurt holding off the threat of Lewis Yorkie, and Shadows and Lexus have found their way past Locker, who had to go off track to avoid any further contact, and that's going to allow Biddle to drop back right behind him.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mad scramble at the moment for everyone for position. It looks like that the Brookie is just back to what he was doing in the sprint race. Already 4 seconds in front. He's off. See you later.
At this rate, Brookieman could go for probably for a tour around the track backwards, unlap himself and still win the race. DRS has been enabled though on lap 3 here in Mexico. Revengezilla pulling away from Kurt in second, and then Kurt, Yorkie and Shadows right behind the Prema, and looking like Kurt there carrying a lot more downforce. He's just getting absolutely reeled in there down the straight, but Shadows now to the outside for turn 2, which becomes the inside for turn 3. Yorkie forced it off the track a little bit there as Tidgeon picks up a time penalty, but we're wheel to wheel here between the Charoux and the Prema down towards turn 4. Yorkie to the inside of Shadows, but that will become the outside for turn 5. You'll get the traction down though, a bit wide there goes the Prema, but Yorkie does hold position, and now Lexus trying to follow his teammate through. It's just not happening on this occasion.
So Monkey had slight damage. He looks like he is struggling through the corners a little bit.
Don't think there's any visual damage on the Carlin of Kurt.
But legitimately, there's 3 races going on.
As Soprano Legend picks up another time penalty. No, I should say our first time penalty of this feature race. But up at the front, Brookieman resuming his race by himself, so it's a league of his own as our reigning champion, 5 seconds ahead of Revengezilla in second. Then we've got Kurt and Yorkie in 4th with the DRS now, trying to catch up to the Carlin and maybe make a bit of an easier overtake than what he tried to make last lap. To the inside goes the Prema, very late on the brakes there, forces Kurt very wide there. That'll compromise them for turn 2 and turn 3, but with a second dose of DRS, I get the feeling here it's just a matter of time, as we've got a multitude of penalties further back. I'm not sure what's happened there, but Yorkie now to the outside of Kurt around turn 4. Kurt bouncing over the curb of turn 4, and we've got a Constantina effect at the back. Multiple front lines being damaged. I'm not sure what the cause of that was though. But Yorkie does get past the Carlin, and now Kurt is dropped back into the clutches of Shadows as Sargent gets a 3-second penalty further back.
Oh dear. Well, legitimately there's 3 races going on. You've got Brookie in a league of his own. You've got Zilla who's got his 2.7 gap for second as he... Damn it! And then you've got Yorkie with the queue, the train literally from himself from third all the way to P20.
And about that 3 seconds revenge Zilla had, it has now been eradicated. But Kurt, I think those super soft tyres there on Kurt, they are just not working for the Carlin. And despite the DRS pull, Shadows is I think his setup here is just too streamlined for the Carlin to really defend against it. And we're seeing there, even with DRS for both drivers, Shadows around the outside, but Kurt isn't giving up without a fight. But in the end, it's a fight he's really taking on with one hand tied behind his back. And Shadows now is up into 4th, and Lexus now trying to copy what Yorkie did, except it's to the inside though for Lexus around turn 4, looking for a cutback around turn 5, up towards turn 6 here, to the inside goes Lexus. Still holds it around the inside there, and Kurt is not giving up here easily as the Carlin, but he's just not quick enough here. But Lexus, an almighty twitch there going around turn 7, and that's going to drop him down the order. Lost around 3 or 4 places there, so Kurt having that fight, and what has happened to Yorkie?
I think he got spooked by his teammate because he's now down near the back. He's got no front left end plate. Look, he's down in 14th.
See if we can get a camera angle here to show the end plate damage as Soprano Legend picks up another time penalty. We got a yellow flag. Oh, Davis had a spin. I think they might have made contact there with Soprano, and Lexus is in the pits. No, he's spun. Oh dear. The Premas, it's all fell apart for the Premas here. Yorkie in the pits for a new set of tyres, and Lexus, what on earth has happened to the Premas? And Lexus has retired from this race.
You know what's quite funny? They're both Ferrari, technically junior team cars. Of course it would happen to them.
I think that actually answers for a lot of that there, to be honest, speaking of Ferraris. But we'll have a look at the penalty system here. Brookieman, as mentioned, a race of his own, and Tornado in the Twitch chat saying it's still not allowing him to join the race.
We'll just let it go around.
Yeah, we'll need to let the AI car go around and do its thing.
Unfortunately, I think Tornado's going to get, due to the fact that the AI did most of the racing in the first race. Oh, hang on a minute. Did most of the racing in the first race. Oh, Monkey's been hit!
Oh no!
Actually, I think Biddle. No, I don't think. I think it may have been Biddle. I'm not too sure. Biddle's tapped the rear. I don't know if it's possibly all Biddle, but Biddle's not. P4.
We'll stick with this battle here at Donor 1. We're going down towards turn 1, but Kurt is not going to get a DRS. He's going to get absolutely swarmed and swamped by the field around him. We're almost 3 wide here and 2 wide further back. Oh, we made contact there. I think Kurt has been rear-ended by CTX, and that has caused CTX to lose a bit of his front wing as TS9 picks up another time penalty. But Lockhart, Diamond and Bolly all getting past the Carlin, and it's, I think, it might either just be the setup here for Kurt, or those super soft tyres are falling away very, very quickly.
Yeah, I don't think those super softs are going to last much longer. We're probably going to see him into the box this lap, maybe next lap. If he gets a time penalty, well deserved. Straight on the cut there.
And also,
Um,
looking here for a fight for second, Revengezilla has made a mistake. Well, he's made another mistake, but I think he might have ran wide somewhere. That's allowed Shadows to get up past the MP Motorsport, and with 6 seconds now in time penalties, Revengezilla, he's really
Rookie's in.
He's really scratching and clawing to try and stay on the podium, as Brookieman has decided this is the lap to make their pit stop, so Shadows will inherit the net lead of this race. Revengezilla up into second, and Biddle having a relatively quiet session so far is Biddle, apart from the excursions with his teammate, as Tornado has finally retired from the race.
Yeah, he's managed to get onto the Soprano Legend. Had front wing damage, and oh my god, this is hilarious. Oh, never mind.
There we go.
So for a split second when he came in, when they were putting on his tyres on, his front tyres were super soft, and his rears were just softs.
Oh dear. And I think, just looking at the members lounge Discord there, I think it might have been contact between David and Soprano up at the hairpin. That's caused the front wing damage to the high-tech. But up at the front, Revengezilla has got the lead back from Shadows, but carrying those 6 seconds in time penalties. Biddle 3 seconds behind this lead group in front, so he's having a relatively quiet race so far, but he is holding his own. We've got Crossray in 4th, Locker another strong showing from the Dams in 5th, Diamond in 6th. Then we've got Kurt, who's been fighting, he's almost been fighting everyone in the field so far, and finds himself in 7th.
He's like Tommy Fury at the moment, or Tyson Fury's like, oh come on, if you want it, I'll have it.
Indeed, come and have a go if you think you're good enough. And Kurt is currently now up in 6th, as we've got a multitude of cars in the pits. We've got Diamond in the pits, Tijim, CTX, and who else is that? I've completely lost train of thought there. Bolly's in the pits as well, and David is in for a tyre change too. We'll have a look at Lewis Yorkie, see where they emerge in respect to this. I think they were originally ahead of all of these cars who've made their pit stop, and he does find himself still ahead of the field, but some 15 seconds behind the group. And Soprano Legend is out of the race.
So, Soprano, I don't know if you noticed, but I was on board with you. I did see that, my friend. Yes, Soprano.
Oh, Zilla, what are you doing?
What's Zilla doing?
Zilla, what on earth are you doing?
Nah, mate, that's not on.
I'm sorry, but yeah, Zilla, that isn't professional. Oh, he's retired from the race.
Have you clipped it?
I'm not able to since I'm broadcasting, but I did get all of that incident on the broadcast. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure what happened there with Revengezilla, but they have called it early. I'm not sure if something's happened with Revengezilla, but that was a rather interesting approach to make that pit stop. But all said and done here, Brookieman, who did make that earlier pit stop, is still going to be in the lead of this race, but on much older tyres. And Shadows will now inherit 2nd, with Biddle in 3rd. So Yorkie, who made that pit stop, is making another one now. Diamond, who made the pit stop the lap before, is actually going to make up a few places here. And Diamond find himself in 9th. Sargent actually up into 7th. And Kurt, who did hold on for as long as he did, despite the tyres falling away, is somehow still in 6th. Brief intermission now because of the safety car, so that allow all of our drivers to make that pit stop. That is mandatory in our feature race. But nothing really nothing really more to say. But we'll have a look at the penalties elapsed and gains so far. Locker in 5th is the highest placed driver with a time penalty, currently on 6 seconds in time penalties. Then we have Sargent and Kurt both on 3 seconds, 6th place and 7th. TS9 in 8th on 6 seconds in penalties as well. And Ashy, who's down in 10th, as Diamond... Oh, I think Diamond's had controller issues. They went straight on at the stadium hairpin, and that has tapped their front wing. Oh dear, Diamond. That happens.
Bruce is probably looking and thinking, why can't this happen in Tier 3 races?
I was just about to mention why couldn't that happen in Tier 3, but I suppose for heading to Azerbaijan, I wouldn't mind if he does do a Lewis Hamilton and go straight on at turn 1. Anyway, that's not a topic for another day. Ashy up in 9th with 12 seconds, and CTX in 10th on 3 seconds of penalties, and other drivers, Tijim and Bolly, both 13th and 16th on 6 seconds of penalties.
I'm just looking through the tyres. Looking in Biddle, Monkey, Ashy and CTX, David, Tijim and Diamond are all on soft compound tyres. So those tyres are going to be still in very good condition. Don't know about the super softs. The super softs do wear out, as we saw with Monkey. He only managed to do 4 or 5 laps and they were already starting to fade. So we could see the likes of those soft runners making their way up through the field very quickly.
Only time will tell, as we're just waiting now for Yorkie and Bolly to catch up to the back of the safety car queue, or we'll be having one more lap under safety car conditions. But Brookieman, the pace he was showing in the sprint race clearly hasn't been a fluker or whatsoever, because even with the pit stop that he had, he was still nearly 10 seconds ahead of Shadows. So our drivers behind have it all to do to try and stop him, or at least try and slow him down at that. We will have one more lap under the safety car as Diamond is into the pits. I suspect that could be for a front wing change. And no, it's only a tyre change, so he's going back onto a set of super soft tyres. As what has happened here with Biddle?
Biddle might have made a mistake.
He's done a thing, oh dear.
And may now have to maybe let people by, but I think Krosky may have let him back through.
As long as it's sorted out as soon as possible, and then no penalties for the stewards to be dishing out. But safety car will be in this lap, as now Ashy and CTX are trying to be funny as well. It didn't work around Jeddah, guys. Just changing position under safety car. I'm not sure if you're trying to resume that, but and safety car will be in this lap. So Diamond might just catch up to the field before we go back underway. And let's see if Brookieman can get this restart sorted much better than he did in the sprint race. Backing up the field is the Campos, and around the final corner we go. He's leaving us very late here to get the restart underway. Leaving it right up.
He's getting really impatient.
Leaving it right up to the line to try and get the benefit. Well, trying to stop everyone getting the benefit of the slipstream, and Locker almost being pushed against the wall there by Shadows. Locker with an absolutely brilliant restart there, already fighting for second. Maybe going to try and mount a challenge here on the Campos in towards turn 1. Around the outside goes the Dams, which comes the inside for turn 2. We've had a bit of a collision further back. I'm not sure with who or what has happened there.
Sergeant and Bailey.
Oh,
Two teammates
yeah.
of Sergeant and Bailey. David has missing a bit of his front end plate. I think Sergeant as well. No, Sergeant's end plate's fine. It's just David.
Brookieman with an almighty dive in towards turn 4, and it's worked for him. He's retook the lead of the race from Locker, but Shadows in third, maintaining third place at the restart. And we've got Biddle in 4th, Crossray in 5th, and we've got Kurt still in 6th. Ashley made up a few places up into 7th. Then we've got TS9, Tidgem up into the points. A really good showing there so far from TGM and CTX in 10th, with Diamond and Yorkie right behind them.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I was saying about what Brookie needs to. Brookie needs to now weather the barrage of super soft behind him until they start wearing out. But obviously, those super soft runners have only done 2, maybe 3 laps under the safety car speed, so they've got hardly any wear. As Shadow now looks to go for a move on Locker, but all this is doing is helping them. Rookie somewhat get away. It's a slight contact, wheel to wheel.
Definitely a bit of a nudge there between Locker and Shadows, but with all this fighting, like you said, it's just allowing Brookieman to stretch his legs even more. But Biddle now right up behind the pair of them, maybe. Surely not a double send in towards turn 4. No, he's not better off that. But Locker and Shadows still wheel to wheel, and Crossray behind Biddle trying to mount a challenge on the ART. Up to the hairpin, and there's been no movement there so far, but Kurt now trying to roll round the outside of Crossray. It's just not happening so far, but Brookieman now with all the fighting around them, 2 seconds clear as they make their way around sector 2. Movement and positions gained further back for CTX and Bolly fighting away, and Shadows to the outside of Locker. Late breaks late and does finally get past the Dams, but with the DRS about to be activated at the end of next lap, he's got to break that 1 second barrier as quickly as possible.
Look at Brookies, are now 2.2. I think that's what he wanted. He wanted all the guys behind him to fight, so he can now pull away. So comes Biddle and Locker.
Biddle trying to fake out Locker, going left, and right. But which way is he going? He's been in contact with Crossray, and Kurt has just said thank you very much, I'll have that. But Biddle with contact behind, I think with all that weaving, it's put off Crossray somewhere. And now Biddle down in 5th, and now Crossray, he could be out of the race here.
He's going to the side. I think, I don't know, maybe Krosky got put off with Biddle moving left, right. But yeah, Biddle seems to be okay-ish, but he's lost a few positions, but the people in front of him do have time penalties.
Crossray definitely came off worse from that collision. Is missing both his end plates, so will definitely need a front wind change, or he might just retire from the race. And that has not worked for the pair of them, but we're looking now to fight for first, and this could be getting a little bit interesting here. Shadows on this latest lap at least, he has caught up to Brookieman, but not by much. It's only been by around 2 or 3 tenths, and if he keeps chipping away like that, he could get within DRS range for the final lap.
Oh dear, what is with everyone cutting the final corners just to get to retire? Like, come on, just drive properly to get to your box. Retire.
And Crossray is going to call it a day. What could have been for Crossray, it just hasn't came to fruition. But a bit of a field spread now between the top 3. Brookieman, Shadows and Locker all separated by 2 seconds each. But Kurt and Biddle getting a bit close for comfort here on the track. Biddle to the inside of the Carlin. Kurt will hold it around the outside of the ART, now to the inside for turn 5. Who can get the better traction here up towards turn 6? temporarily it was Biddle, but Kurt still to the inside, taking a tighter line though. That's going to allow Biddle to try and challenge back against Kurt. And now up towards turn 7, and now the S's section, Kurt does hold on ahead of the ART. TS9 up in 6th, making amends for the sprint race, and Tidgham with an almighty charge so far, up in 7th. And we have Diamond under threat now from Yorkie behind. Yorkie on the super soft tyres, slightly fresher of the tyres. I'll say that to tell like the slightly older tyres, but that doesn't let it defer him. Yorkie in the Prema does get past Diamond, he's up into 8th. And a fight now for the final point here is Bolly and Ashy now a bit close for comfort. Very close for comfort. And incredibly close for comfort. We've got a car park and there's a reset 2 track there. I'm not sure who that's for. I think that might have been for Ashy. But an absolute car park there around the final corner. And that has rather ruined the race of Bolly, CTX and Ashy. But David now fighting away with Willybum. Willybum will have the DRS. David does have a superior straight line speed, he does defend against the dams, and will jump up to the fight for 4th as Biddle, with the aid of the DRS, has got past Kurt.
Don't say that incident. I didn't see it, but yeah, if actually has reset track, that's a bit naughty from him. CTX has retired into the pits.
And Shadows
gets a penalty.
Oh dear. Brookieman now with the return of the Jeremy Clarkson-esque smud look, and Tidgham with 3-second penalty as well. But with the drivers around him carrying a very similar sort of penalty, or even more, that might actually not be drastic for the Campos. But Shadows with that 3-second penalty, I think that saw their charge rather come to an end. The gap now up at the front, 2.2 seconds between Brookieman and Shadows. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2, I think. Ashy and Bolly have got a bit too close for comfort. Yeah, Ashy has lost a bit of his front wing trying to fight against the Virtuosi, and Bolly parking it on the apex there, defending against Ashy, as Willybum has entered the pits and retired from the race. Trying to see any further action up at the front here. Biddle still fighting against Kurt here, but with the DRS pull for the Carlin, he's going to be trying to make a move here in towards turn 4, and then it's a very similar move that they've been making throughout the full race. The outside of turn 4 to the inside of turn 5. Biddle goes a bit wide there, trying to get the traction down, but Kurt now to the inside for turn 6, and this time doesn't have to wait until the next corner. But Biddle on the switchback, trying to fight back against the Carlin, running wheel to wheel almost, and once again, Kurt just doesn't want to quit that easily. He doesn't want to give up the fight, and he's currently still fighting for 4th, but with a very, very angry pack of cars behind him. And Yorkie now right behind TS9, making amends for the sprint race, is the high-tech. A bobble over the curb, but Yorkie goes a bit deep in towards the stadium, and right now this could go down towards the final few corners, let alone the final lap. Oh no!
Well,
Yorkie, I think Yorkie's made contact there with Tidgham going around the stadium. They both got wheel to wheel and have went into the barriers. Tidgham without a front wing, Yorkie with damage to his full front left end plate, and actually his full front left wing. And Biddle with the DRS advantage once again. He does get past Kurt, but Tidgham, I was saying as well, had an almighty good showing in this race, but I think just a bit of desync there has played the Campos of TJM.
Trying to do calculations right now. I reckon David might score a few points. TS9's now on 15 seconds of time penalties. Tidgham's on 12, so if David can stay in the thing there, TJ's hemorrhaging time from that no front wing, but he's not going to box. He's just going to keep going. But I don't actually think front wing damage actually affects you too much, as Locker's now got another penalty as well.
9 seconds in penalties for Locker. Despite showing really strong pace, they just haven't quite kept it within the boundaries of the track. Brookieman are in the final corner to start their final tour here in Mexico. Shadow's relatively lonely race after the restart in second, Locker in third. We've got Biddle and Kurt. The final battle between these two on track, and the advantage will go to Kurt here with the DRS, but Kurt is carrying the 3-second penalty, so no matter what happens here, Biddle will take the place away from the Carlin, but at least for supremacy on track, as Diamond does get past TS9 also without a time penalty, is the ARTs. So a relatively clean race for the ART team, but Kurt now, the DRS and the potentially final opportunity to overtake Biddle, looking to the inside for turn 4, just a bit too far back. And I think Biddle has... Yeah, Biddle has saw off that threat so far, but with the time penalties up front, Shadows is only on 3 seconds, so I think he's safe from Biddle, but Locker on 9 seconds, he should be in trouble here of losing the place. And losing quite a multitude of places here, but TS9, as you said, on 15 seconds, Tijum on 12 seconds, 15 seconds, and without a front wing. It's all went south for the Campos of TGM, but it's all looking up and looking north for Brookieman. The man from up north, the Flying Scotsman around the final corner. It's a maximum halt for Brookieman and the championship, and could potentially be taking the championship lead at the end of this race. The Flying Scotsman soaring to maximum points and the win in the feature race here in Mexico. Shadows, a quiet race, but a good showing for Shadows to take second, and Biddle, welcome back Biddle, a much needed rest, back from his holiday, and he's bathing in the sunlight of third place here in Mexico, and Diamond in fourth for ART, Kurt in fifth, and we've got Locker in sixth place after the penalties. Yorkie, relatively a quiet race, but with that front line damage, sees him in seventh. Sargent in eighth, recovering from the sprint race. David picks up points in ninth, and TS9, despite the absolute calendar of time penalties, gets a point in the end, and TGM, what could have been in 11th, as what's going on here?
It's a bully and Ashes. You know, like NASCAR, when they jump out the car and start fighting? Well, this is Formula 1 style. You just fight in your cars. Yeah.
And I think, yeah.
That's not on.
You're giving us a bad name here, guys. That is not on. As
he's out, mate.
Yeah.
Those two will be brought into the stewards to have a chat.
I think that will need to go to the stewards and potentially a bit more. But Shadows will not be in for an interview, just saying in the chat. Just to sum up their race, it said it was a relatively boring race, but I'm sure P2 won't be too much of a problem for them. But Brookieman, 4 points in qualifying for the pole position, fastest lap, and taking the first place trophy in the sprint race and the feature race. Another fastest lap to their name, and another 25 points as well. He can't get much closer. Sorry about that.
Yorkie will get the fastest lap.
I'll need to have a quick check. Yes, just seeing there. Almost perfection for Brookieman, but by 5,000ths of a second, Yorkie takes away the fastest lap points. But still, not quite perfection, but distinction from Brookieman. And if the championship challenge was ever in doubt, I don't think it is now. Brookieman, the winner, the absolute grand slam here in Mexico. Shadows in second, but will not be in for an interview this evening, but I'm sure they'll be saying they're very happy with that result. And Biddle, welcome back, third place for the ART, and Diamond in fourth, and we've got Kurt in fifth. Once again, Carlin chipping away with the overall points, and another good showing there for Kurt. Locker in sixth, Yorkie in seventh, Sargent in eighth, David in ninth. Points at last for Mr. Lawface, and TS9 rounding out the top 10. So, Gary, I don't think there's much point in asking, but who would be your driver of the day?
I'm gonna probably give it to. I'm not gonna give it to Brookie because he didn't get away as much as he did. It wasn't as dominant as was the sprint. Well, I'm gonna give it to Diamond Douchey today. I think Diamond Douchey had a great race there to get up through the field, finishing P4.
I believe he did have that incident under the safety. Mate, you got Brookie, man, you got driver of the day for the sprint race after leading by like 20 seconds, so you can't win it all, mate.
Well, Biddle's not joining the party, so I don't think Biddle wants an interview.
Okay, fair play then. I don't fancy it.
I do apologise.
Nah, I won't do it.
I did see you there. It didn't pop up. To be fair, and it's also saying you're connecting anyway, so I did see it.
Right.
Well, that's my fault. I put my hands up for that.
Right, and I think with that, Gary's not interviewing Biddle. So,
Where's Ashton?
Shadow's
can't
doing
make
the
it.
interviews.
Nice.
It was the same for Monaco. I don't think he's got either a working mic or he just couldn't join the party.
Yeah, no worries.
So I think oh dear, that was pretty loud. I do apologise. But I think as we wait for Biddle to join up the party, I'd like to ask Gary to interview our race winner this evening, the Flying Scotsman known as Brookie Man.
He is here. He is here, by the way. But he said
It's still saying he's connecting for me.
You can hear him.
I can't. Genuinely, I swear to God, I can't. I can't hear him.
Genuinely,
I swear.
he's here. I can genuinely hear him.
I can't hear him. Like he's still connecting for me. Oh, great. Well, right.
Doesn't look like you get into him now, Biddle.
Yeah.
Bye, boys.
Right. I think. Oh well.
He's
Right.
gone. That's it. Done.
Right, but try. Right, I'll try and invite him. I'll make amends for that. I do. Right, Biddle, I'm sorry, mate. Alright, I'll try and get you back in. Meanwhile, Gary, take us through with Brookie Man.
So, Brookie, did you have to be as mean as that today? Fastest in every session. Absolutely wiped the floor with everybody in qualifying. But the first question will go to that sprint race. Oh my God, where was that pace you were holding in the wet sprint race?
I think it was because everyone was running full traction, to be honest. I know Monkey was on no traction for somehow, but yeah, I was on medium, and I think everyone else was on full. So out of all the slow corners, I was gaining 3-4 temps. So I think that's why I was quicker in the sprint than I was in the feature.
Yes. My next question would be for the feature as well. You didn't really pull away as quick as you were hoping. I know you were under a bit of attack from some of the drivers this time. When that safety car came out, were you a bit worried that the drivers behind you on the super softs might get past you, or did you know that the tyres were just going to let go?
I knew the softs that I were on were quite good. I like them because they're on there for a few laps before the safety car came out. But yeah, I seen Shadows come up behind me, and I knew he'd be quick because he just pitted. But I also looked at his penalty situation and seen that he was on 2 warnings, so I thought if I just keep it clean, then hopefully I should take the win.
Yeah, and then obviously we're going to also talk about maximum points this week for Mexico. I think he actually might take over the championship league. I'm not too sure, but perfect weekend from you.
Yeah, well, news just in that Tornadoes left the league.
Oh, that's my job.
Wait, what?
Tornado has left the league. So Brookie has actually taken the lead of the thing, and there goes everyone's chances of now beating Brookie.
Yeah,
Can't handle the heat,
Wait.
my friend.
yeah, that's quite a sour note to end the stream on. Obviously, Biddle, I do apologise for that, but please, one more chance, pal. Please join.
Well, he won't join. He's making his point now.
Right, well, I think,
Probably.
right, all I'm going to say is then if I get a podium for Baku, then I'm not getting an interview with Biddle.
I don't know, is Biddle going to be,
If Biddle's ever on commentary for another Tier 3 race, then I'm not getting interviewed again.
I think he'll be, I think he'll be back this week.
But, so is any further comment from Brookyman regarding this evening? I'm just going to echo what Gary said. Just absolutely fantastic, mate. Like, nothing I say nothing I say will do what you done tonight justice. Just well done, mate. Right, sweet. So I'm now being blanked by Brookyman. So right, okay.
Sorry.
No. I see how it is, right? Right, so I blanked Biddle. So I've heard that one before. So you say that again, then it's not gonna happen.
No. Just I was wondering if Gary had said it. Oh.
Yes, he did. He mentioned the 4-0.
What?
He mentioned the 4-0 wins. So you're welcome.
What the Rangers nil, Celtic 4.
Right, there you
the
go.
Rangers.
No. Come October, it's going to be an absolute terrible match between Rangers and Liverpool.
This is where I now lose my Division 3 head title. A Scotsman's gonna fire me.
I think Scotsman's already.
Sorry, Scotsman.
I think Scotsman's
I'm
already
sorry,
fired you,
Scotsman.
mate.
Yeah, I think I've just been
Please,
screwed out of
please.
F2 actually.
Please don't. Love you, man.
Oh wait, never mind. Scotsman's just asked me to join up. Right. So I think with that's gonna end what has been. Oh wait, no, I'm about to get banned. Shoot. Anyway. Right. Well, thank you all for tuning in to FPRL Formula 2 Round 5 around Mexico this evening. We will be back next week on the 11th of September, if that is correct. Have a quick check. Yes. We'll be back September 11th, taking on France. So with that, obviously, well done to Brookyman. Sprint race, feature race, pole position, just all-round distinction and near perfection from Brookyman. Thank you to, and also big well done to Biddle. I know he's probably away punching something right now, but well done on the third place, and Shadows, of course, on the second place in the feature race. Thank you to Gary for joining me yet again in the commentary booth.
That's a pleasure as always.
And with that, that will conclude the stream. FPRL will be back this Wednesday where the Tier 3 drivers will head off to Azerbaijan, if that is correct. You look at the race calendar, we're truly professional. And yes, so on Wednesday the 7th of September, we shall be going to Azerbaijan and taking on the Baku Street Circuit. So with that, thank you all for watching. I have been Cruiser1872, and from all of us here at FPRL, good night.
There's
There's no need for that.